Hello friend, how are you? It's Pat Sloan here for Tuesday of Magical Quilting May, and it is Tuesday the 26th. And what do we have for the 26th? We have the worst. Sounds dramatic, doesn't it? It's the worst. Okay, so what's this challenge? Today's the worst challenge. I might use this one again, so you know, stay sharp on this one. Stay sharp. The worst today is I want to find out what happens. One thing I think is the worst is when you misplace something. Doesn't matter what it is. If you've misplaced it, raise your hand if you've misplaced something ever. If you misplace it in your sewing room, you're wasting precious time trying to find it. You know, your pattern, your scissors, you know, your rotary cutter, your ruler, that set of fabric that you're working on, that's the worst. That's the absolute worst. So today, your challenge. So this is the challenge part. So I want you to think about how to break that habit. How to break the habit of not having a place for things that are super important. So that means taking a look at your workflow. I know that sounds all businessy, doesn't it? Workflow. But it is. It's like, how do you work? Do you always, you know, need your scissors on the right hand side? Do you always need your rulers on the left? Where are you keeping your project that you're working on? Is it just tossed in a tote bag that gets stuck on the floor? Or do you have nice bins, but you don't remember which one you put it in because there's no labeling on the bins? You know, take a look at your process and what you do. And today, find something in your workflow, find something that you can fix or actually just build. Maybe that's a better word. Try to build the capacity to have things in a place. You know, build that. That's sort of a skill, because if we use something and we don't put it back, right? Your family with your scissors, they use them and they leave them, you know, in the hallway table instead of putting them back in your sewing room. So, you know, if you build that place for things, then over time, your habit of always putting it back in its place will be there, and you won't be missing things. You won't have the worst feeling of not being able to find something. This happens too with your keys, maybe your charger for your phone, your cards for your stores, you know, like all the different cards to use in the stores, you know, and whatever it is in your life. There might be your gym bag. You might have something you take to gild with you or take to sewing. There's always things that we use repeatedly, but maybe not like every single day. And if you put them back in their spot, yes, it's gold. So today, what I do, so let me show you. Let me show you down here. So I like these stash and stores because for me, like I keep these two rulers in this one stash and store, and they're pliable. These things have, see, they have little honeycomb in here, and that can be opened up. So there's this regular size, and I can just put the ruler in, and they're weighted so they don't topple over. And then this stays over here, like I have a spot for this. And these two rulers pretty much go back in here right as soon as I'm finished using them. Now the other thing that I've done is I've built this little tray. Yes, that's my trash can. It's almost full. Like I have a long table here. My koala table is pretty long. And so at the other side, this is where the rulers go. And on far other side, this is where this goes, which is where the ironing board is. But I have to fill the water, and I have the mini stash and store over here, which has the scissors and my pen so that I can have those handy for taking notes. I'm right-handed, so this is on my right-hand side when I'm on the other side of the table there. And then the scissors just stick in one of the small slots of the honeycomb, and they just stand straight up like that. And I used to have these just laying on the table, but then I was looking around and I have this tray, and this has worked out so much nicer to keep it on the tray. I also have the little this little basket that's got a magnet on the end, so I can just put a few pins there and some of the wonder clips inside. Oh, and apparently some trash, so there we go. And I have a thread cutter, you know, so I can just, you know, zip it along right on the top. This was given to me. Somebody embedded them in toys. You can't buy it like this, but you can buy the clover This is the clover thing. There, I put my hand behind it. So this is what you can buy, and somebody made these up, gave it to me. Okay, so these stash and stores, I'll link you down below to everything, but they are a great way to keep things super organized on your work surface. Or you can do them on your desk. You can have them for your family, like if you need to put pens and some other, like, you know, maybe some small rulers or different things that people are always using. You could put them on these. My other way that I work is to use the rolling cart, my rolling assistant. So this one here goes on the other end of the table where the rulers go. It sits right at the end, and it has more rulers, all my rotary cutters, some other taller rulers, pens, and lots of scissors. So that is on the top part of that, and that one is a lifesaver. I use those things, and they always go back in there. They don't get left on the table. They don't go, heaven forbid, I put them in the project box, because I use the same rulers for multiple things. Do want to put them in the project box. So these rolling assistants are great if you want to have something you can sort of move around like that. You keep a container on the top, and then you can move it around, and those utensils can go, or those, you know, notions and things can go with you to different work spots that you're at, maybe by the table, maybe over by the sewing machine sometimes, over by the ironing board sometimes. Okay, what do I have today for the rainbow? These are the last blue rainbows. Then we're into the indigo, which I can't wait. So today I have this sort of, I like this blue. This like reminds me of the sea. It's like a sea blue. And then I have these wee little dresses. Look how sweet these are. I just love them. Yes, more novelty prints. Because, you know, for the rainbow, I was trying to find as much as I could. So these are the last blues, which means that I can set them. So today I'm going to put everything up and see how much I can sew before I get into the indigo. And I have decided I will finish sewing the middle section prior to the last day of the month. And then hopefully before the last day, my border comes. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Okay, behind me, wanted to show you something because several friends were asking, our friends that quilt along with Pat Sloan and other friends were asking me about bed runners. And so I have this Bonnie Lane kit that's out there, which are these 4, you know, pretty big blocks. I forget what size they are. I think they might be 16-inch. Look, see, they're great big blocks. And the pattern comes with, oh, I had the pattern here. Here it is. The pattern for that has 4 different sizes of quilts. You can do, it's a runner, so you can either use it at the foot of the bed because it's nice and wide so you don't lose the blocks, you know, great big blocks like this. You could even do, you know, a little spacer between them if you need it a little bit longer. The kit comes with backing and binding fabric. So it's complete except for your batting. But if you wanted to use a little bit of the backing to like put a space between each block so that you could stretch them out and maybe put, you know, like there is around the outside, there's a little border around the outside, then you can make it just a little bit longer. But there's 4 sizes. That includes also a lap, a twin, and a king. So I know a lot of you look for twin sizes. So links down below to this. I think that with the very springy, summery feel, like very light feel of the blues and the grass greens, it's so pretty in the Bonnie Lane. So if you haven't picked that up yet, there's still kits out there. There's a blue one. Doesn't that feel like summer? Be cute cushion too. You could actually do 4 pillows probably with this. I don't know if you'd have quite enough backing, probably not enough backing for 4 pillows, but probably for a couple you could do pillows. Lots of options with that. And you can see he kind of they kind of match Norm there. Poor Norm. Actually, not poor Norm. Norm enjoys himself. He likes to hang out here in the studio. I just feel silly having just one Norm block, but this is the way life is. So I have been, over the past few days, so please give me good thoughts. Over the last few days, I have been putting things away, you know what happens when you put things away? Then 2 days later when you need it, you can't find it. So I'm hoping that I don't run into that. But I have active areas, like most of like the surface area here and these shelves like over here, like these shelves, not all of those, but these shelves and then the white shelves that you see all the time, those have active project bins. And it had been a little while since I had like cleared out what was in there, put things, you know, like took bundles apart and put them in colors so that, because I wasn't really going to ever use those bundles together. And then also projects had finished and I needed to, you know, put them away, which is the theme of our The Worst. The worst is not being able to find something. So I'm hoping, and I disassembled a few things that I'm like, and I put them in new places that I know I need to get to those things. So I'm like thinking, oh, I hope I remember where they are. My space is not that big, but sometimes I've put things where it's not logical to me, so therefore I can't find them. Am I the only one that does that? I hope not. That's okay, real quick, just before we go, I made 2 of the Jolly Bar blocks. This is what I'm doing while we're waiting to sew the sampler. For those of you who have your book already and you want to sew along, I am making this quilt from the Jolly Bar book. Oh, here's the front of the book. Whoops. Don't lose that. Okay, here's the front of the book, the Jolly Bar book. And I decided to do this easy one. And so there are a few directional prints, sort of directional. So I will place them directionally, the right direction. So I don't want the houses like on their side. So they'll go up and down. So here we go. Here's 2 of the blocks. So maybe in the next day or so I'll have enough of them done to put them up on the wall when we're getting together here. Okay, that's it. Go forth and find something in your area to create a new home for it. It's forever home, the place that you know you can find it again. I'm Pat Sloan. Thank you for being here. I love you. Have an amazing day. Mwah. This is so much fun to hang out with you every day. I appreciate you being here. Love you. Bye-bye. Mwah.